Awesome. So I think we've waited a little bit. So yeah, so we can get started. Just to start before I kick it off to Kerisha to get us going on labeling and printing with DYMO. I know it's a big topic, pretty exciting topic. I just want to know everybody's comfort level with DYMO, just to start. So I'm just going to publish a poll right there. You'll see it pop up in the chats. Let me know. I think everybody should be seeing that. Let's see. How familiar are you with DYMO? Because we'll take a moment to answer that. We just want to know, where everybody's coming in at, so we know how to kind of go with the content and go with the flow. So we see, wow. So we actually have a lot of people so far. 55% are using DYMO, but hoping to learn some tips and tricks. That's awesome. What's a DYMO? We have 15% of people not sure what a DYMO is, which is awesome. Hopefully you'll win the free DYMO and you'll become very familiar with it. Okay, great. Let's just give one more minute, let the polls come through. But it looks like most people are familiar with DYMO on some level. But don't worry, we got you. Kerisha's going to go over everything with everyone. So this is going to be great. So awesome. And then I'll kick it off. And just to let you know, we will be pausing 3 times for questions. So ask your questions away in the chat messages. We have Nuria as well, I should mention. She is behind the scenes. I don't know if she said hello on chats yet, but she's going to be helping us mark all the questions that we get as we go along. Also registering everyone for the contest. And we'll stop for questions probably about 3 different times in the presentation. So we'll get to everybody's questions. Cool. So, June, she's using a past job. You just purchased one. You need another one and want a refresher. Awesome. Okay, then this is probably the perfect webinar for you. And again, good luck with the contest. So I will kick it off to Kerisha to get us going with the presentation.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you. So as mentioned, my name is Kerisha. I work with Tameem and several others on the community and inFlow community and support team for inFlow. And I just wanted to go over basically how to connect inFlow with your DYMO printer so you can get labeling. So let's get started. So as mentioned, we are going to be doing some labeling. And as an example, I just kind of wanted to label some stuff that I have around my apartment, especially since we're all mainly working remotely. So I was going to get started with labeling some eyeshadow palettes that I have. So it's not really important, but I figured I'd bring a prop. So this is an example of just barcoding some items that have no existing barcodes already. So I needed inFlow to generate those barcodes. And we already did a webinar in the past about how to do that. So if you want to know how to make your own barcodes, I would really highly suggest watching that webinar. And then you can get label printing with this one. So yeah. Okay. So the pretty much today's webinar, we're going to be broken down into 3 separate steps. First is just downloading the DYMO driver and getting the software installed that's within that driver. You can get that from our main website. The second is going to be creating the templates, and that's actually going to be using the DYMO dedicated app that comes with the drivers that you download. And then the third and final step will be how to get those templates that you've made from the DYMO app into inFlow so that you can start printing and using them however you like within inFlow. All right, so let's just get started. So getting the DYMO driver, step 1. So before I get right into it, I actually wanted to just share some helpful information about this. DYMO does have a lot of printers, and they do have a lot of different, a variety of software as well. So because we have created an integration or pretty much like a connection with DYMO, it works specifically with the program called DYMO Label. So as I mentioned, we're already going to provide those for you. This is just something I wanted to note because sometimes we do have some customers who get in touch and they already are familiar with DYMO and they may download a different version that doesn't quite work with inFlow. So I just wanted to point it out that there are lots of different versions and varieties that they have available, but we specifically work with DYMO Label. Oh, sorry. So, and the one I noticed that I run into quite a bit is DYMO Connect. I believe this one is works with some of their mobile labels, I believe. So this one, unfortunately, is a program that sometimes some of our customers do download first. So I just wanted to point out that it doesn't actually work with DYMO Connect. Okay. So I wanted to get started with downloading the DYMO driver. I already do have it installed on my computer just to kind of speed it up some of the steps, but I wanted to at least go through where you can download it. So you can get it directly from our web app, and in the options section, I gave a direct link to it so that you can just go directly to it. If you happen to use the desktop app quite a bit more, then you can easily just go to the main menu, options, and then use any of those links that link to the web app, such as account/team or integrations, and then you can get to the company settings from there. So I'm just actually going to click here just so I can get started with downloading the drivers for our integration. So here it takes me directly to the company settings of inFlow, and I'm already logged in, which is why it took me directly there. If you weren't logged in, you would just have to log in and then you get redirected. So first you would just click on label printers. Now I do already have it set up, but for an example, I'm just going to hit disconnect and start it again. So you would just click on the setup window here, and it's going to give you a brief overview of what the DYMO label printing setup will do, and just like the connection it's going to make, you just have to click next. And then here, the first step is downloading the driver. So all you have to do is download it. Depending on the browser you're using, you just have to wait for it to download in the corner, and then you could just double click it once it's done. As I mentioned, I'm not going to install it during this webinar, but as an example, I have it already preloaded here. You would just have to double click it and just run through the full installation wizard, which is really simple. You just mainly have to click next, next, and accept any terms and conditions that are there. So for now, that would be how you set up the DYMO integration. Now I wanted to go back and just kind of give you some shots of how the installing will look like. So at first you'll see it look like this. Again, you just had to click next, and then once you're done, you just have to click finish. So it is fairly simple, and there's not very much that you would have to go through. So yeah, that would be how you would download and install the DYMO driver. So after the DYMO driver is installed on your computer, the next thing you would want to do is create the templates. So for this, I just want to let you give like a breakdown of how the templates are made, or how they work with inFlow. So the templates are actually using pretty much, they're not going to have any specific product information. So for example, if you have a bunch of products, you're not going to be putting the names of those products on your labels. You're pretty much going to get these little, you're going to be adding placeholders to these labels. And these placeholders are called reference codes, and that will tell inFlow what information from inFlow needs to be printed onto this label. We have a wide variety of reference codes available. And here is just an example of how that works. So the, let's say this right here on screen where it says barcode, that would be the reference code to tell inFlow to print the barcode number on this particular label. And item name just tells inFlow to print the item name for that particular product. So we have a list of most of the reference codes available. Please don't feel like you have to write this down or memorize this. We have this on our knowledge base article for making templates. There's about altogether 30 different codes that you can use, and these are all on the product, pretty much on the product for you to print out onto these labels.
And I'll just to interrupt, I'm linking that article right now for you
Great.
guys as well.
Thank you. All right, So now that I've gone over pretty much a little bit of information of how to make the labels, I wanted to go over how we would do that with DYMO Label. So I'm just going to open that up on my computer. Sorry, it's being a little slow.
This is the exciting part. So I take it just checking from the poll, it looks like maybe actually maybe about half haven't done labels yet. So this is going to be really useful. Hopefully for the ones who have, maybe you learn a new, quicker way. And just as it loads, I'm just curious if people are using DYMO to label their products. Are you kind of using label your shelves, or what are you guys using DYMO for? Let us know.
Absolutely. So as soon as I now have it open here, DYMO Label tends to open it up on pretty much one of the generic templates on there. Depending on what label printer you got and what labels you bought, you're going to want to find the labels that that match what you have. So in particular, I do happen to have a box of labels, and I have white address labels. So that's really key or really important to know for how you're going to build your labels, because you want it to be able to build it based on the layout and the exact size of your layouts. So with me having only white address labels, I'm going to then first find that looks like that's what's already come up here. But to select your size labels, depending on which ones you have, you want to be in the labels tab, and you want to select the type of label that you have. So there's a list of them here, and within each one has different varieties of labels for you to choose from, which is what is available for you to buy in store or online. So again, I have white address labels, and I happen to have the 1 inch by 1 inch and an eighth by 3 inches and a half. So this would be the one that I would choose for making labels in inFlow. So by doing just a single click here, you can see that there's a bunch of pre-made label templates already. You could choose any of these templates if you like. Just from speaking with a large amount of customers about this, I find most customers tend to go for just pretty much text and a barcode. But we do have quite a few that add custom field information and everything else on there. And that's, again, available with that list of reference codes that we have on our template article. If you did want to use this template that's available, all you'd have to do is select it, and then you would have to then edit this template to match, to pretty much add those placeholders for inFlow to be able to read it. So I'm just going to do this first, and then I can make one from scratch after. So first, to add that placeholder information, you want to click on one of these elements. And something that, as a tip, if you do see that it's red around that element, keep in mind you're not able to move it or drag it or do anything when it's red. In order to be able to edit the elements, you want to highlight and click on the Insert tab up here. This is what allows you to add more elements to your DYMO Label template, and also you can move everything around as you would like. So once you've clicked Insert and you have these the blue dotted lines around it, you have full access to editing the element that's there. So even though this isn't as important here, I do prefer to change the text, even though it's actually the settings of this element that tells inFlow what to print. But first, I'm just going to type in item name. And now to tell inFlow, or to have this label programmed so that it has that placeholder, so inFlow knows to print the item name / code in this field, I'm going to right click on this element here and then select properties. From here, you can actually skip this general settings area, but if you want to change any of the information that's here, or change the alignment or anything on that, you can, but it's not necessary for the placeholder information. So from here, we're just going to click Advanced, and then reference name. you're going to add pretty much the inFlow reference code. It's just a slight name or wording change, but you're going to tell inFlow that you want the item name here. So I'm just going to type that in. And then I'm just going to select OK. So this is the placeholder that is item name, so that when inFlow reads this, and because we're changing the properties of this element, when inFlow reads this, it's going to know to put in the item name from your product, and it will, of course, then customize it for every label that you're printing. And then I'm going to select OK. Next is the barcode. The barcode tends to already be pre-done, but just for practice, I'm going to do the same steps again. I'm just going to right-click and then select Properties. And then again, you can change any of the barcode settings here if you'd like, but I'm going to just jump to the Advanced tab at the top. And from here, I'm going to type it. Well, I'm not going to type in barcode because it's already there, but if it wasn't already there, then barcode would be what you need, just so that it tells inFlow to print the barcode number that's in the product record, so that you have your barcode here. Actually, I'm going to jump back to general, just something I forgot to mention. If you happen to have longer barcode numbers, here is where you can change it. This is an example of my barcode. It's just a 6-digit barcode. So if you need it to be longer, you would want to add it in here so that this template could accommodate a longer barcode. So that would be it. I'm just going to put that back to 6 just for now. And then once you're done adding your placeholders and editing your layout of your inFlow DYMO Label template, you just need to save that to your computer, because next we're going to be uploading it into inFlow. So you just need to have that saved. So I'm just going to go either Save As, File at the top, and then Save As, or you can hit the Save key that's here. And you're just going to save that to your computer. And you can name it whatever you'd like. Just make sure you do not change the extension, the file extension at the end, that is .label. So that is really important, so that inFlow knows it's the right label type. So I'm just going to call it barcode label, and then click Save. Once it saves that label, as you saw, it kind of animated it to the label section. So I'm going to click on that label tab, and it went into the saved labels tab. So as you can see, I made quite a few of the very similar labels. Anytime you need an existing label, you would just go back to the Save Labels tab down here, and you can modify it, or if you need to, you could open it up again, because when you hover over it, you could see the directory of where it is on your computer, so that you can re-upload it to inFlow. Okay.
Great. And just to interrupt, because we have a few questions here. Sean, I think we'll get your question at the break. But Michael, I think, is about specifically the labels that we were on. But he's asking, would you be able to add another field showing how to use the codes you showed earlier?
Yeah, sure. Let me go back to that.
Awesome. Cool. So
I think just for example's sake, I'm going to use a larger label, just so there's more room. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to use like this large one here. And I'm just going to start with a blank one. Okay, so again, because this is mainly for layout, or the size and the label type, I'm going to now hit Insert, so that I have full access to the elements here. So,
sorry, Kerisha, just one more interruption. Michael asked if we could show price or location specifically.
Oh, I don't think location. Wait, no, default location is on there. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah. So let me just start with. First, I'll just start with adding the text. I'm just going to click and drag the text onto here, and I'm going to start that by adding item name at the top. I'm going to make because I might add a few, I'm going to make this a little smaller. But then again, if you have lengthier item names, you're going to want this to have as much space as possible, so that it doesn't squish within the limited space. But I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to add all the elements first, and then I'm going to put in all the reference codes so that I could do them one after the other, or I can do it at the same time. You guys can let me know what's the better option. So first I'll start with the item name at the top. And then let's say I'm going to do price next. So again, I still need a text column. So I'm going to click and drag on that. And maybe put that here, or maybe I'll put it near the item name. So I'm just going to type in price. Make that a little bit smaller. And let's say I put that up here. Okay. So let's say item name price is here. And then what was another one that was it?
So it was location. Location and price.
Okay.
Yeah.
Location.
And then once you do these two, like they're quite interchangeable with other elements. So for everyone watching, you kind of do one or two, and it's kind of the same shtick.
Default location, and then the same thing. I'm just going to repeat by dragging another one and then putting default sub location. Okay. Actually, I'm going to give this a bit more space, just because some could be a little bit longer. So this isn't that pretty, but this is pretty much the idea of how you would customize a label to have all the information that you need. And if you still want the barcode on there, then actually let me just add that, just because that's super important. I'm just going to click and drag a barcode. So that this label would be super helpful. So I'm going to add this to the bottom. There we go. So pretty much now I have all these different elements, and so far all I've done is clicked and dragged text and dragged it onto my label. So I haven't done anything yet. Now to tell inFlow what all of these should be, or what elements from inFlow should load, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click on the element, select properties, and then I'm going to jump to the advanced tab. And from here, the default reference name is text. So I'm going to then type in item name and then click OK. Same thing. I'm going to go to price, and because I want to just list the price that's on the product, I'm going to go to properties and then jump to the advanced tab and then click here, or pretty much highlight the area, erase it, and then just type in price. And then I'm going to repeat that here for default location. Now, some of these actually have specific spacing. I'm just kind of referring to some of my slides. For example, if you had custom field information, it would be custom 1 with no space. So again, reference that that template article that Tameem had linked into our chat, because you want to have the exact same reference code, so that inFlow knows and understands what you want to have printed here. So for this one here, oh sorry, I went too fast. I right-clicked and I selected properties for the default location. And here I'm going to click on advance and do the same thing.
So Kim, too, I think is pretty much asking exactly about the reference name. So you're using the data layout names from inFlow.
Sorry, the data layout names. They're not necessarily literally the same, because this one, actually, I'm going to bring up that particular article that you linked to me. I'm just going to open it up in my browser and show everyone. Because with those reference codes, some of them are identical. But if you look at this item name, that one is technically not identical to what's in inFlow. When I open up a product, because you'll see that says item name / code. So that's slightly different. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that might be a developer coding thing. I'm not really sure why it's different, but you want to actually look at the reference names that we have listed here. As I mentioned, custom one, there's no space between the one and the word custom. But other ones, there is a space, like vendor product code, default sublocation, location. So it's not literally the same for all of them, but it's very close for most. Like this one here, pricing scheme name, it just happens to have no spaces. So if you were to write out pricing scheme name, it wouldn't quite work. Now, actually, this one here has a note that for pricing scheme, you want to change it to whatever your pricing scheme is called. So if I wanted it to be named after retail pricing that I have here in the product, in my product record, then instead of writing pricing scheme name, I would put in retail pricing.
Yeah. So, and then that will actually, sorry, so just interrupt, when you do that, that'll actually show the price. So back to Michael. That'll show the actual price, versus when you put pricing scheme name, it might just show retail price, not the actual price, but the words retail price, because that's the scheme name.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So actually here, I don't have a, let's say, let me put in a cost. So for any of the information here, so if I just put in price, it's just gonna take the first one. That's your default pricing scheme. I can, by a quick way of checking is just clicking the add new button. You'll see whatever one has the star is your default pricing scheme, and it won't show, it doesn't matter which one is the default or which one is listed here. It'll just go with the default when you just select price. But when you replace with a specific name of a pricing scheme, then it will list that price that is there. So that's these reference codes are helpful. So again, like for example, with what I was doing in DYMO, I happen to have a list also in front of me on my iPad, which is why I was able to type them without copying and pasting. But this would be helpful to just highlight it, right click, select copy, go into DYMO for default location, right click, properties, and then you would click advanced, and then if this wasn't already there, then you can just paste it. Oh, I accidentally put in sublocation, but I'll just correct that and just put default location. And then just select OK. So I can do that here now that I already have that in my clipboard. So I could right click, select properties, go to advanced, highlight it, and then hit backspace or delete on your keyboard. Right click on your mouse and then just select paste and then click OK. So from there, you would have all of these reference codes pulled in from, or pretty much all of these placeholders and reference codes that you want inFlow to read would be there. Again, just as a good measure, it's always good to check the barcode one. Even though it's already pre-programmed, I always select it and check anyway. So I would right click on that, select properties. And again, you can change the layout in case you don't want the text at the bottom. You may not want it. You could just have it go to just the barcode. But I'm going to keep it below. And then I'm going to hit advanced, and barcode's already there. So it's not case sensitive. That's why it's in capitals, but it's fine. So from there, that would be how you customize a label that has more than just name and the barcode. And if you have a lot more information, like you want to put some of your description there, then you can add that onto your labels. So the bigger the label you have, the more room you have to play with. Whereas I'm using really small address labels, so of course they don't have as much space to add a lot of information. Is there any other questions? Actually, I'll save this one as well.
So we did have one question from Sean. It's not directly about the label, so but if this is a natural breaking point, we can get to it. So Sean asks, will inFlow ever just have a print label button associated with each item that will automatically make a label? So I think there's kind of two parts there. The one part, I'll go over the one part that I know I answered. There is a way to bulk create like barcode labels from the web app. It's a little bit different than having the DYMO Label printer associated with each product, which I think what Nuria was referring to. So I think maybe we can, I don't know if that's the bulk barcoding generation thing was what you were looking for, Sean, but maybe we can quickly just show on the web app where you do that. It's exactly where you actually download the DYMO Label drivers. So I don't know, Kerisha, if you can just show that, how to do that really quick.
Yeah, that's the next step, actually. That's the next and final step would be pretty much printing it from inFlow, which would be, of course, also adding it from the saved spot on my computer to my computer, to inFlow. So I can get to that now.
Oh, perfect. So that's actually the perfect segue into the next section. So stay tuned, Sean. And I think that's it. And then Michael just says that was great. Thanks for showing how to make a template from scratch. So kudos, Kerisha.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, so let me just make sure. Okay, so next, printing the labels from inFlow. So again, I'm just going to go back to the company section of inFlow Cloud on the web app, because if you were to be doing this all from completely from scratch, where you have to download the drivers and everything, you're likely to still have that wizard still open after you've downloaded it and made your template. So I don't necessarily have to click on this again. I still have it open. So I'm just going to escape my slideshow here. And from here, I'm just going to click next. And then here is the section where we're going to add our template. So I'm going to now click on Manage Labels. Oh, sorry, it logged me out. Let me just get logged back in. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that section here. I think I just left it idle too long. So I'm just going to click on the shortcut and then go account/team to get there quickly. And then I'm going to go to company settings. So from here, I'm just going to open up label printers. So in case you do close your browser, you can get back to this pretty easily. You can just hit next, bypass the download, you've already done that, and then hit next again, and then manage labels. So I already happen to have one there because I have been using the DYMO Label printing already. But when you're here, it will look pretty much the exact same, except you won't have one already listed. So you'll just have to click Add New, and then find your DYMO label off of your computer. So I'm going to add both these labels that I made, the barcode one and the custom one. Once here, you have the option of renaming it if you want to have it as a different name as what it's already called, but I'm just going to leave it and click Upload. Oh, let me add a 2 since I'm already using that name. And then I'm going to add another one. And I'm just going to double click on Custom Label. And select Upload. So there we go. So now I have 3 labels that are available. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to click on that. And that's all you would have to do to get your labels added to inFlow. So, oh, I think there's something I did forget to mention earlier. Now, even though we are adding the labels to inFlow Cloud for web right now you can only print labels from the Windows app. So I'm really sorry, I should have mentioned that right at the beginning. So, in order for us to print the labels, we will be switching from here to the Windows app. So this is as far as we go with the cloud, inFlow Cloud for web right now. You can now just click Save and Close and then continue. So I'm just going to open up inFlow. So I've already had inFlow open and I already have a few products here. You can print in,
sorry, can you?
Yeah.
Can you just make it a little bit bigger, the inFlow desktop app?
Ooh, I think it's still going to be hard to read. But let me, is it any better?
Yeah, perfect. Like,
is it? Okay, great.
Yeah. No, it's still a bit hard, but
yeah, it's a little tough. I'm sorry.
No, this is great.
So there's a couple different screens where you can print labels. So you can print them from your purchase order. So if you have a few different items on your purchase order, then you can print them all. And it would also print off the quantities associated. So let me just see if I have anything here. Nope, looks like that might be a blank one. So if I had, let's say 20 here and I went to print the labels, it would print 20 by default. So if you didn't already have this at the top of your screen, you're going to see a label button and that's where you can click to make labels, and that's where you can make that from the purchase order, which I'll get to just in a second. You can also print from the current stock screen. If you want to print labels for everything you have, like all of these quantities, not just every line item, you right click on the main table, and then you would select print labels for these items. So what it would do is just keep going. It would just keep printing. So for this top item I have here, I have 70, it'll print 70, then 100, and then 75, and then just keep going. From there, of course, there's the product record. This is where I tend to print labels the most, because a lot of times I work with customers who are just doing some one-offs and printing pretty much just one label for their shelf. So from here, you can click on Make Label and then print a label that's here. So I just wanted to open that up from here. Michael, for your question, unfortunately, it does have to be done from the web app. If you try to open, you can get to that link from within the desktop app from labels and then manage labels. It'll take you back to the inFlow Cloud web app. I think that's something that our team's working on. I don't know if they're working on changing that or making it so that it's just all web only, so you don't have to flip back and forth, but unfortunately you would have to add them all through the web app company settings page. So, oh, sorry about that. So labels, make labels. So when this loads, it will have the name of the product, and it will have the barcode that I have here that's already been generated. That's from the extra info tab. I actually happen to have two DYMO printers connected to my computer, so you want to just select the correct one that you're using, and if you want, you can even change the number of copies you want to print and which layout. So if I wanted to look at the custom one that I made, unfortunately it doesn't fit just because I put too much information on there. That's when you would want to go back to your DYMO Label software and actually just customize it so everything fits. I just had a little too much information on this product for that particular one. But for the other one I made, this one fits here. And then you would just click print. So that's just how you would print one. I happen to have my printer next to me.
We can hear it printing too.
Yeah.
Great effects.
I have it. And you would just either, this one, they tend to be sticky. So you tend to either peel it off, stick it, or you could tape it to the shelf, whichever you would like. Do you mind just actually pausing the presentation and then showing the barcode that printed out? Sure.
On screen, so you could see.
Actually, make my webcam like the main one, or because I don't know if you could see it too well.
Yeah, that works too. Just putting it right there. Yeah,
okay, great.
Just so people can see, it's literally what she just built.
Yes,
the exact same label.
And actually, I'm going to do a comparison by loading that up in inFlow. So you can see it just says the name, which it's not. I know it's not that clear on the webcam, but it just says Too Faced Smoky Eye. That's just an eyeshadow palette that I have, and that's the barcode that I made for it, that I generated from the inFlow settings, and then that's what I have here. So the custom one that's a little larger, that has lots of information that one won't work just because I don't happen to have the right layout for printing, and I also put a little too much, and I didn't give it enough space. So if you went back and customized it and tweaked it, you'd be able to get it to print exactly as you would need it.
Awesome.
So yeah, there is one more place where you can, oh yes. Also, along with, I don't have any made, I don't believe, but you can also print labels from work orders. So you will see the label button available here. I don't happen to have any made in this database, but if you are making if you're making a kit or you're assembling anything and you're using the work order function, then you can also make labels here. So the places to print them in bulk is purchase orders, the current stock screen. So purchase orders here, the current stock screen, and the work order section. And then for one-off labels, it's best to print them on just the product page that's that you can get to within inFlow.
Perfect. And we do have a question from Katerina. So during receiving, can you include serial number barcodes for serialized items?
I think right now we can't.
Wrong. I believe
I don't know if we
we
can.
Can't. Yeah,
no.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't believe we have a code for that.
Yeah, exactly right on DYMO.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't do that now, Katerina. The list of everything that can be printed is in that link I sent. I'll resend it here. Unfortunately, it's not something that's on there now, but we'll also share that feedback with the product team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've taken note of that.
Let's see. So yeah, those are the main areas. Is there any other questions? Because that's pretty much how you would print them from inFlow.
Sean, does that answer Sean's original question? I believe. Yes. So the original question from Sean, I just want to make sure, will inFlow ever just have a print label button associated with each item that will automatically make a label? So I don't know if Sean, we'll just wait for your reply. If that's what Kerisha showed you is what you were thinking, or if you're more so looking for, a hot button that creates the labels for you, you never have to set it up in DYMO. Mm-hmm. But if you don't need that, then I think exactly what Kerisha showed is just what you need. Also, maybe just to show as well what you can do from the web app as well. You can bulk print barcodes.
Sorry, I actually haven't done that
yet. Not bulk print. Sorry, that's barcodes, not labels. I forgot we're on the labels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that generate labels? That's for your a regular printer?
Yeah, for non DYMO stuff. But you can you can also print from certain screens in the web app as well, the labels, just like you can in desktop. Mm-hmm. There's certain screens that you can print labels from in the web app.
Yeah, because we know that everyone will have a DYMO printer, we do have that that option, the print barcodes, and that will redirect you to the Get Barcoded website, and all of your products that are in your database will have a barcode, and it'll just print one. So we haven't made it available so that you can print multiple copies of these yet, but this is more helpful for printing off one to your regular printer. You cut it out, you put it on the shelf, and then as soon as you pick the item or receive, you just scan the shelf. So this is pretty much a workaround if you don't have a DYMO printer, and we're going to expand this more too. Yeah, for now, because we're mainly focusing on the DYMO. Oops, let me minimize that. That's how you would print it out here. Oh, I actually was going to, I had this up on screen. Actually, let me see where it is now. If you do want to print out lots of labels at once, it just kind of shows you the layout that you have here. You could choose your label printer, and then again, it's going to follow the quantities you already have in your current stock screen. And this is if you literally want to print everything. Just a tip, I forgot to mention this earlier. If this is going to print just like any other printer on your computer, if you, let's say, hit print and you did not mean to, then you're going to want to find the little printer that normally loads up in the bottom corner of your computer, and you would cancel the print job the way you would cancel anything. I don't really want to hit print here because I'm afraid that all these labels will print, but that is an example. Let me see if I can kind of imitate that. I just don't want hundreds of labels to print. But if I was to go here as an example and print 20, I'm going to try to quickly stop it before all 20 prints. But that would be something you can do. Let me go with 10. Well, that might be easier. Oh, I realized I didn't choose the right printer. Let me redo that.
And then we do have a few more questions after that.
Sure. So yeah, if you accidentally printed too many, or you actually just want to stop, once the printing is going, you'll see that printer icon. This will always show up whenever you're printing anything in the bottom corner of your screen. You're just going to want to select that and hit cancel, just so that you don't have to print all of them. I may have gotten it to it too late. Luckily, I only printed a few. Hi there, I wanted to make a quick correction. You actually can print DYMO labels from the inFlow Cloud for Web app. You can just click on the product list, select a product, and then click Print Barcodes at the top. From here, you can select the number of copies that you want to print. You can select the layout template that you want to print and the DYMO printer that you want to print to. Then click Print.
Okay, so we do have a question. So from Chris, for the barcodes, is there a set barcode symbology you must use through DYMO, or can you change the barcode type to code 128 or code 39?
Oh, yeah, the barcode type. I believe, let me go back to one that's a little bit more simple. I believe you can just right click on it. Let me go back to Insert and change the barcode, the formatting. So let me hit Properties. And here you can change the barcode type at the top of whatever you're using. So the 128s are here.
So just to confirm for Chris, you can use pretty much any one of these, any of the options that DYMO gives you.
Yeah, so in this case, we are at the mercy of whatever DYMO provides. So if they don't have it, then unfortunately we can't put it on there. But if you could definitely change the label, the code type to whatever you would like it to be that's listed here. And then you just hit OK. And you'll see the changes.
Perfect.
So this, yeah, mine's not.
So that is. There you go. Chris, let us know if that helped clarify. Lydia, I think. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. Sorry if I did not. Where do you purchase the labels? That is a good question. I guess it also depends where you live.
Actually, our colleague Simon who's in the chats. He actually, I know he gave me these. Like we're located in Canada, and any like Amazon, Staples, any office place, I think Grand and Toy that does more office direct, they would have these.
Perfect. And Austin knows a thing or two. He also let her know that he uses Amazon. Awesome.
Great.
So Sean, I know Sean mentioned I don't have the print label button, and Simon did reply, you need to have the DYMO integration set up first, or it won't show the label button. So Sean, just let us know if you do have the integration set up first. It's the first part that Kerisha went through. Maybe do you want to just quickly go back to the web app and show where you set it up? Just we'll give you a show and let us know if you've done that step, because that's the important part to get
I can actually even start from scratch. If you happen to log into the web app from the home page, then you can just go to the main menu here and then go to Options. Once that loads, you would click on Company Settings. From here, you're going to download the label printers. If you've already downloaded it, it means you probably just haven't installed the software yet. So even though I already have it, just in case some of our you need to re-download it, we also put it here so that it could be re-downloaded just in case. And you can just save it to your computer and then run the install. So that might be the last piece that you need. You just might need to run it, because what happens is there is a service that's run in the background with DYMO, and it has to be running in order for inFlow to even know that there's a DYMO printer connected. So often if there's ever any trouble, and the first thing we might ask you if you contact the support team is if the DYMO service, web service is running. A quick way of checking is by clicking your Start menu button, just start typing in DYMO, and then you're going to see DYMO web service. And another shortcut for that is also just checking in the toolbar section in the bottom right to see if DYMO is already listed there. So maybe that may not be running if you've already installed it, or if you haven't installed it, then that would be your next step.
Great. So Sean, let us know if that's helped or where in the process you are, and we can follow up as well afterwards to make sure you're all set up. So Marilyn has a question. Is it possible to print small barcodes, like as small as lipstick? If yes, can we print directly from inFlow?
Small as lipstick. I think that would depend on one of the label types that are here. I actually wish I brought a lipstick with me. So let me see.
Yeah, I've never tried to print that small. I'm not sure if you have, but we can test it out as well.
I think this one here, these extra small ones that would have to like, it really depends on the size that you have. So it'll tell you like this is 1/2 inch by 1 inch. That's still probably too large for a lipstick tube, but even still, you can, it's pretty much up to what's here. This looks like it might work. The smallest one here on this 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. And then some of these other ones look like they're for like a DVD spine. That could also help. So that would be a way of doing it. And as you can see this here, this has like a really long, like an example of how you can use this. It would just have to be on vertically instead of, like for example, instead of me putting it at the back, it would have to be on pretty much like the spine of whatever you're putting it on. But yeah, it would pretty much be dependent on what label you're able to get for how small you can print. So, and as one of our other attendees also mentioned, it might be, or Kim, it might be hard to scan when it is so small, but even still, it would pretty much, you can print whatever you can based on what's here. So if I was to let's say use this layout here, a 6-digit barcode probably may not fit on this really tiny label. You might want to consider reducing the size of your barcodes, and you would do that by right-clicking on here, selecting properties. You may only be able to fit maybe a 4-digit barcode on there. It's so small, but how you can print. So inFlow doesn't have the restriction. That would be dependent on what labels are available from DYMO.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And you know what? We can test it out to try and print something for one of our lipsticks and see how it works and let you know. I've made a note of your email address, Marilyn, too, so we can email you after and let you know if we were able to get something that small working and scanning.
Yeah, I it's funny because I just was holding one right before, so I feel bad that I didn't bring one. Yeah.
Labeling makeup. Okay, yeah. So we do have one more question. Sarah, are they compatible with the inFlow scanner, or are there any barcodes that work better with it?
Yep. I actually have my inFlow Android scanner here. Where is the? Yeah. So for the one that I already printed, my Too Faced one, all I would have to do is again, with these, you don't actually have to press the scanner button. You just click the orange button and you scan, and it came up with the product that I have. I know it's hard to see on screen, but that is the same one as what comes up now that I've just printed this out. So it is compatible completely. It's going to read the barcode with no issue. And I could print more, and it will print them. So if you do happen to have the Android scanner, it will work. Or if you're just using your cell phone, which uses a similar app but just doesn't have the dedicated barcode scanning ability like the Android scanner does, then it will still recognize it. And if you're using a wired one, same thing. It'll work perfectly fine.
Awesome. And for those of you who don't know, inFlow does have its own Android barcode scanner. It's a phone and a scanner in one. It's pretty awesome. I'm not just saying that. I mean, we obviously each have one, and you can use it actually as just your regular phone. There's a slot for the SIM card, and it makes scanning a lot easier. So, which is super useful, at least for us, since we're the industry. It's kind of one-click scanning, super durable. Yeah. And again, I will link you guys. You should definitely check out the webinar that's going to be about mobile. We are giving one away, which is huge retail value as well. So it's pretty nifty.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I don't have all the information on that one, but I think they're drop tested. So that's great because I drop my phone all the time. So I would want to know that this can hold up to that. So yeah, this scans those labels pretty well. No issue. I know you can't really see it, but at least it kind of shows the photo of the particular item. Yeah.
All right. And we have one more from Francis. How about QR code printing?
I don't actually think we could do QR code printing. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's available in the DYMO software, but
yeah, Francis, we'll get back to you. We typically don't support QR code like generation kind of thing, so we'll test it out and get back to you on that. Mm-hmm. So I gotta make a note of your email address as well, and we'll let you know. So we're just pretty much near the end of the hour here. I just wanted to know if anybody has any final questions before we wrap up. I'll have a final poll for you while we generate the winner of the DYMO label. So feel free to ask questions. We'll stick around for a few minutes as well later as questions trickle in. And then Michael, also a great comment. QR codes would be great in a future update. It takes so much less label space. So so we'll test it out, see if it's possible. If not, we will put in the request for everyone. Yeah. So I think there's no final questions. We'll just wrap up a few loose ends in the contest. And again, if you do have questions, let us know. As always, you can email us at support@inflowinventory.com. First, huge thank you to Kerisha for showing us DYMO label printing.
Thank you.
One clap sounds weak, but we're all clapping together virtually. June says this was very informative. Thank you. Awesome job. As always, feel free to reach out to us with questions, and we will get ready to pick a winner. If you haven't already heard, we are giving away a DYMO label printer, and if you haven't already left a comment or even a hello, please do so now. It's your final chance to get entered. Nuria has listed everybody in a Excel sheet, and she will be checking. She will essentially be generating a random name from a pot. So I think everybody here has registered. So Nuria, David, have you gotten? I just want to double check if everybody who's commenting this last stretch you have on your list. I'll just wait for your thumbs up or good to go. Let's see. As she checks that, she's just going to pick a random person. You know, we are a software company, but we haven't generated a fancy contest winner picker yet. So she's doing it the good old-fashioned number generator way. So while she does that, Simon's there. Simon is trolling because he works with us, so he is not eligible. I will just publish one more poll as she generates the random winner for you guys. Just curious on any other topics that you're curious about hearing, work order, showroom stuff, more barcoding. We did do a barcoding that pairs very well with this topic. It was the first one we did, and I was hosting it and had a slew of technical issues, but we do have a replay of that ready. And that's, again, I'm going to link this for you guys as we're waiting for the contest. Nuria gives us a thumbs up. So Nuria, go ahead and generate that random winner while I spam everybody with a few final links as we wait. So again, that's the webinar series link. Sign up for the next few webinars. We will have the giveaway at the Android, and in that link too, you can find our past webinars. So we have a few on. We did exporting and importing, barcoding, and reports. So you can watch those as well. And let's see, we are waiting for those. Actually, as Nuria picks the final winner, I will let you know. There were a few people who were asking about the Android barcode scanner with inFlow. So I do want to share a promo for our webinar attendees for $50 off. For $50 off, use this promo at checkout. So it is a very simple welcome. We're very original with our promo codes. But if you use the word welcome at checkout if you are interested in the inFlow Android scanner, you will get $50 off for attending the webinar. So thank you for that. And Nuria has a drum roll for us. So dun, dun, dun. It's the best drum roll I can do on demand. I don't know if you can hear.
That's
there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, all right. Nuria is a
oh my gosh, anticipation.
sucker for
the
she's
drama.
Really, she's really doing well. Okay. Lori.
Yay, congratulations.
Woo. Congrats, Lori. Are you still here? Was the suspense too much? Did we drive you away? Let's see. Hopefully Lori is still here. What a lovely group of honestly, the inFlow community is the best. Everyone's so supportive. Congratulations from everybody.
Congratulations.
And thank you, everybody. Everybody was really engaging and helpful and helping answer all the questions. And that's what we love to see. Lori is still here. Awesome. Lori, we will follow up with you after the webinar. We have your email address, and we'll see how we can get you that DYMO label your way. There she is. Congrats. Awesome. Cool. So that's it for me. And Kerisha, any final words? We'll stick around.
No, that's it for me. And thank you for all attending and being so engaging. Yeah, that's good.
We will see you guys soon. So
yeah. We're just gonna hang here.
We'll hang out, and we will send the replay link for everybody. And again, the webinar series webpage link I sent everyone, the replay will also be there. But we will follow up over email with the replay, so you all have that. Mark is asking Lori to print some labels for her. Some hustling happening here in the chat thread, which is exciting to see. And I believe we'll and there we go. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Have a good one, too. Sean?
Thank you.
Just reading all these comments. So positive. Love it. Lori, thank you. You guys are awesome. Woo. Now we're going to send you the DYMO label, and then you're going to have to do your own webinar. We forgot to tell you that. We're going to test you on what you've learned today. Austin, thanks again. Mark, thanks, inFlow. Sean, have a great day. Thank you. Chris, thank you. Very informative. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. I'm just checking at the polls here. So showroom was pretty popular, pick, pack, ship, and webinars about specific workflows. So warehouse, job site, stuff like that. Awesome. Well, we do plan to try doing these bi-weekly, so we will add some of these topics to our list. All right. Thanks, Kim. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Bye.